Welcome everyone. Now we are going to explain you more about Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year takes place around the end of January, beginning in February of the Gregorian calendar, which is the more commonly used calendar in Europe and the Western world.
This calendar was established in the 16th century and based on the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was introduced in 45 before Christ.
So the Western world essentially inhaled the Roman calendar.
The traditional Chinese calendar is about 2,500 years old. It was developed over the time and the years, months and days are defined by astrological phenomena. The Chinese calendar is also called a lunar calendar.
Even though the calendar most of us know,
with 365 days split in 12 months,
Chinese culture still celebrates some important festivities following the traditional Chinese calendar.
this includes Chinese New Year, which is a celebration that takes place over 2 weeks, where we say goodbye to the old and past experiences and welcome to the new and good.
During this time, we worship our ancestors and pray for the best.
These celebrations end with the Lantern Festival in Chinese, Yuanxiao.
Children make their own paper lanterns to honor our ancestors. The original celebrations of Chinese New Year is not recorded, though it is believed to be 3,500 years ago.
There is a traditional legend that tells the story. However,
millions and millions of years ago, they said that in China lived a monster named Nian. He lived in the deepest part of the forest. According to the legend, Nian came out every night on Chinese New Year and attacked the surrounding villages. He would terrorize the villages, and the villagers in it could do nothing else than run. Of course, some people did try to stand up against him, but it was futile. Every single one of them failed and ended up being eaten by the monster. Finally, before the village ended in chaos, the gods came and locked him up in the mountains at the edge of the world. After Nian was locked, life began to improve in the village, and they lived in peace and harmony. A year later, before the villagers settled down, Nian escaped from the mountains. When the village realized this, they gathered together to discuss a solution to defeat Nian. Suddenly, someone suggested that Nian was afraid of bright colors and scared of loud songs also. So the whole village painted their houses in red. And by the time they finished, Nian appeared at the village. The whole village began to make loud noises with fireworks and their drums. No matter where Nian escaped, he was surrounded by red and huge noises. Nian was terrified by the behavior of the village and started to escape from the village. He escaped to the forest and never came back out again. As a result, people of China continued this process of making noises using fireworks and decorating their houses in red to terrify Nian. In the end, the tradition became what we see today as the Chinese New Year.
This is an example of Sufa, which means Chinese traditional calligraphy. Traditional ones use ink, but for this one we use water and the fabric which reacts the water, turning it black. After a short time, the water dries up and writing fades away.
Some interesting traditional aspects of the Chinese New Year include the decorations. Beyond the lanterns, we create and share traditional decorations and carry out some activities. This is an example of a red envelope which are used for adults to give money to children in New Year.
Hello everyone, as we can see here, we have some dumplings. And dumplings, as we all know, are a common food that we eat at Chinese New Year. Usually the families get together to prepare the dumplings in the morning, which is then eaten later at night. As we know, the dumplings in the filling bit, they have some meat and vegetables. So why do we eat dumplings at Chinese New Year, you may ask? So Chinese New Year means saying goodbye to the past and welcoming the future. This in Chinese means 庚岁交子, which in this case 子 means the hour from 11 to 1, and 交, which has the same pronunciation as 饺子. So this is why the reason which we eat dumplings at Chinese New Year. And how do we eat these dumplings? We use this. As you all know, these are chopsticks. And how do we use them? Well, here's a short tutorial. The easiest ways to use chopsticks is to hold our chopsticks like we hold our pencil, no matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. But the difference between a pencil and a chopstick is that the holding point of a pencil is at the bottom, but the chopsticks will have our holding point near the top. So, as a challenge and also to celebrate Chinese New Year, on the 31st of January, we will have the opportunity to use chopsticks at the dining room. During the Chinese New Year celebrations, we usually hang these blessings banners at our front. or we may display them in our houses, which represents good fortune and is usually made of red paper.
We also have these paper cuts, which are usually displayed as our windows with the same purpose.
Here are some examples of decorations that you can carry out. For example, the origami dragon we have here and the Chinese New Year tigers we have.
There are 12 main animals, and each year is the year of a new animal. An example of the animals are cow from last year, tiger this year, rabbits next year, and every animal has the features, but it doesn't influence the year itself. And every 12 years, there will be a new cycle and beginning.
To finish off, there is a TV program which usually families gather together to watch. In this TV program, there appear songs and traditions from different cities in China.